Have you ever felt that little spark of secret joy when plans get canceled? You are supposed to go out, but suddenly you have the whole evening to yourself. And instead of feeling disappointed, you feel relieved. Or maybe you are in a noisy, crowded room, and all you can think about is getting back to your own quiet space, putting on your comfy clothes and just being. If that sounds like you, you've probably also wondered if there is something a little weird about it. We live in a world that's all about being connected, sharing everything online, and constantly being part of a group. Enjoying being alone can sometimes feel like you are breaking a rule you didn't know existed. People might see it as being lonely or antisocial. But what if it's not a bad thing at all? What if that desire for quiet time is actually a sign of a hidden superpower? This pull towards your own space is a well-known pattern in psychology. The famous psychologist Carl Jung called these patterns archetypes, which are like universal characters that live in the subconscious part of all of us. The character that loves solitude is called the Hermit. And no, it's not an old man with a beard living in a cave, at least. Not usually. The Hermit is the part of you that knows you need to step back from the noise of the world to actually hear yourself think. First, let's get one thing straight. The Hermit's solitude is not the same as loneliness. Loneliness feels bad. It is when you want to be with people but you can't, and it leaves you feeling empty and sad. Solitude, on the other hand, is a choice. It's when you choose to hang out with yourself because you actually enjoy your own company. It's a positive, recharging experience. Loneliness drains you, solitude fills you up. So when your inner hermit is calling the shots, you start to feel like a lot of daily life is a bit of a performance. You have to be the friendly coworker, the fun friend, the perfect family member. Jung called this social mask, the persona. It's totally normal and necessary, but for people with a strong hermit archetype, wearing that mask all day is exhausting. Being alone is like finally taking off your tight shoes after a long day. It's a relief. It is freedom. But what do you actually get from all this alone time? It turns out, the Hermit offers some pretty amazing gifts. The first gift is clarity. Our daily lives are a storm of information. Your boss wants this, your family wants that, and social media is screaming a million different opinions at you. It is almost impossible to hear your own voice in all that noise. Solitude is like hitting the mute button on the world. Suddenly, in the quiet, you can finally hear that little voice inside you that says, "Hey, this is what I actually want," or that thing has been really bothering me. It's in these quiet moments that you figure out what's truly important to you, not what everyone else tells you should be important. The second gift is a huge boost in creativity. Think about it. When do you get your best ideas? Is it usually when you're in a loud meeting? Or is it when you're taking a quiet shower, going for a long walk, or just doodling in a notebook by yourself? Creativity comes from a deep, quiet place in our minds. It's a bit shy. It doesn't like to come out and play when there is a lot of noise and judgment around. When you give yourself some alone time, you are basically creating a safe space for your creative brain to come out and do its magic. All the best artists, writers, and inventors knew this. They needed their quiet time not because they hated people, but because that's where the ideas lived. The third gift is a bit of a paradox. Being alone actually helps you build better relationships with other people. That sounds weird, right? But it makes perfect sense. When you spend quality time with yourself, you get to know who you really are. You learn what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and how to deal with your own bad moods. This means you stop looking for other people to complete. You are to entertain you all the time. You start hanging out with people not because you need something from them, but because you genuinely want to be with them. You become a better friend and partner because you are not constantly worried about what they think of you. You can listen better because you are not just waiting for your turn to talk. You are more fun to be around because you are coming from a place of fullness, not emptiness. You are a whole person sharing your life, not a half person looking for another half. Of course, like any powerful force, the Hermit archetype has a dark side. It is important to know the difference between healthy solitude and unhealthy isolation. The healthy hermit chooses to be alone to grow, think, and recharge. The shadow hermit, on the other hand, hides from the world because of fear. The shadow hermit might be someone who's been hurt in the past and builds a wall around themselves to avoid getting hurt again. They might act like they're too smart or too good for everyone else, but really, they're just scared. A healthy hermit has an open door. They enjoy their quiet time, but are happy to connect with people who are genuine. The shadow hermit has barricaded the door and is peeking through the keyhole, suspicious of everyone. It is always a good idea to check in with yourself. Ask, am I choosing to be alone because it makes me feel good? or because I am afraid of the alternative? Do I feel refreshed after my alone time? Or do I feel more bitter and cut off? Being honest about this can help make sure your solitude is a source of strength, not a trap. So how do you make space for your inner hermit in our super busy, super social world? You don't have to quit your job and move to a cabin in the woods unless you want to. It's about weaving small moments of solitude into your everyday life. First, give yourself permission. It is okay to say no to things. You don't need a crazy excuse. "I need a quiet night in to recharge" is a complete sentence. It's a sign of self-respect. Next, find your spot. It doesn't have to be a whole room. It could just be a comfy chair, a corner of your bedroom, or even a bench in a park. This spot becomes your signal to your brain that it's time to switch off the outside world and tune into yourself. Then, be intentional with your alone time. Instead of just zoning out in front of a screen, try doing things that actually feed your soul. Read a book. Listen to an entire album without doing anything else. Go for a walk and actually look at the trees and the sky. Or just sit quietly for 5 minutes and do nothing at all. These little moments are what keep your inner hermit happy and healthy. So, if you're one of those people who secretly loves being alone, it's time to stop thinking of it as a weird quirk. It is a gift. In a world that's getting louder and more distracting by the second, your ability to find peace in the quiet is a genuine superpower. It's where you find your clarity, your creativity, and your true self. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for needing that space. Honor it. It's your internal compass pointing you back to who you really are. So go ahead, cancel those plans, close the door, and enjoy the wonderful, wise, and recharging company of yourself.